It's Thursday, December 19th. We're on a Thursday, Matt. I'm Geoff Schwartz. That's Matt for Geoff Schwartz this morning. I had to move a little bit, little vacation plans, go into some snow. I will not be skiing or snowboarding, Matt. I will be advising my family on the best way to do that from the warmth of the lodge. But nonetheless, hopefully this weekend is filling you guys with some football warmth. We have games, Matt, in the NFL on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Also, if we want to get to this at the end of the show, college football playoffs. Four games this weekend. None of our teams are playing. My team is playing January 1st. So we'll talk maybe about the four games moving forward. Matt, we're struggling in the National Football League, buddy. It's not been a great year for us. We have three weeks to turn this around. We are 35, 39, and 1. I don't think we're going to catch Nick Wright in a competition he does not know about. But as we do on Fridays, but today is Thursday, we'll go through all the NFL, including Thursday night now, and we'll give you an idea of the plays we like. And by the end of the show, we'll have five picks against the spread. They're going to be a little ugly today. I have a feeling, as they are every weekend. These are not cashing like they used to, but there are some sides, possibly a team that has an owner who decides on trades based off of Madden ratings might be included as one of our wagers, Matt. I can't get enough of the Jets storyline. People ask, is it real? Yes. Woody Johnson, yeah, it's all real, Matt.
Yeah, seems real. Timing's interesting. The week that we should all be talking about Aaron Rodgers' sweet new documentary, we're here talking about his owner. So I wonder, you got to think Aaron Rodgers might be behind some of this, but it might be Joe Douglas leaking it. I don't know.
It's
But
100% Joe Douglas. Someone asked me, it's not Rogers. Rogers not talking to Diana Rossini, who he's like publicly called out before about now Mike Silver, who did help with the article, he is a Cal guy and him and Rogers are connected, but Rogers wouldn't know why why Woody Johnson decided to not trade a player or not. As my dog just viciously barks to protect the family from something that's there's no reason to protect. I'm sorry, guys, if it's just live and he's just having a ball downstairs. Hopefully, the mailman is safe from my vicious indoor dog. But I think it's all real, Matt. So it'll
I
be
think
fun
it's
to
real
follow.
too. It's very fun. Another domino in this Jets season that has just been absolutely outrageous. Um, Yeah, well, we could talk about the Thursday game. What else? I mean, it's I should let you know it was the Blue Duck holiday party last night.
Oh,
So like a lot of people are looking a little tired in the office today. Sam
yeah.
producing the show, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, of course, always 100% professional. But yeah, drinking a little unnamed electrolyte supplement here. Would welcome a sponsorship from them. It was a nice night. Everybody had a good time. We wish
Where'd
you
you
were
guys
here.
go?
Right here.
Oh, okay. I don't
We did
know.
a white
Well,
elephant in the office, and I
oh,
I got a lava lamp.
okay. So my son's nightlight is a lava lamp, by the way. That's what he uses for a nightlight. Um, the dog just, I don't know what's happening out there. Someone must be dying in my front yard. Who knows? It's unimportant. Hopefully someone can get him to be quiet, but who knows? The other day, my wife had a white elephant party. Well, a Christmas party. We did white elephant gifts. I saw a TikTok, Matt, where there was a rotisserie chicken given as a white elephant gift. So we did that. I went and bought a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store, and we gave someone a rotisserie chicken in a box. We gave him a gift card as well, but the right reaction was had. And then well, the best part is the person's house we had the party at was like, I was like, hey man, are you gonna keep the chicken? He's like, should I go? I bought it 3 hours ago. And he's like, sure. So he kept the chicken. It went into his fridge. So
I
I
would have
gave
rather
someone
had a
a
chicken.
meal, a whole
And,
rotisserie chicken. It was fantastic. Okay, before we get going here, as we lollygag, want to tell you guys about Pine Sports. It's pine-sports.com/subscribe. It's an AI tool to help you answer any questions about sports wagering or stats in general, just anything you want in professional sports, NFL, NBA, NHL, and hockey as well. And if you want to use it for wagering, it'll help you with player props. There's an AI tool. And throughout this show, guys, what we're going to do is when we have a question, like Mike Tomlin's record against the spread as an underdog, we'll put it into Pine Sports and it'll give us the results of me. I did it already. And I'll put a hand up and say, I've been practicing 6 numbers right away. You go to this page, you could look up NBA player props. I just randomly put in players' names and tell me over under prediction on whether they're going to go over under their props. Same with Tyreek Hill, who I love this weekend for his player props over. I had go under. I might bet over anyways, but a great tool to use if you use our code Geoff with a G. That's GEOFF. You get what, Matt? 50% off whatever tier you want. The lowest tier would be $20 with the promo code. It's very fun to use, especially with people like us that we throw some trends in there, we like some stats in there. And Matt, I know you've been playing with this as well. So throughout the show, we're going to use it, and we're going to hope it helps you. It helps us win some wagers.
I love this thing. I keep playing with it. When I got it for the first time, I was like, well, this can't be what I think it is. And it's
Exactly.
essentially one of their tools that is the AI chat tool, which is just chat GPT, but just like for bets. It's unbelievable. I've spent so much time on this thing. Yeah. So Geoff, you said it. I've got some. I'll throw you a surprise later in the show based on this. So yeah, I love
Yeah.
this thing. Everyone check it out. It's Pine with a hyphen dash pine dash sports.com/subscribe. Promo code Geoff. Have fun.
And you can also build models as well in this. And you can, I believe, there's like leaderboards and things to like actually put down your wagers if you would like. So it helps with fantasy football, which I know is near the end of the season. So there's a predictive board as well. You can predict, like who covers the spread, who wins these games. I might join up and predict something. Why not? But let's get Matt to our first game of the week, which oddly enough for us is a Thursday night football game.
Yeah, Thursday night game, AFC West battle right here in a few miles away in Inglewood. The Chargers are 2.5 point favorites against Bo Nix's Broncos. Um, I I'm curious if you have a lean on this one. I don't know if we could include this in our five. That feels, I mean, we need all the help we can get, but if you've got a side here, I'd like to hear it.
I am not sure all the help we can get amounts to betting either one of these teams in this game. I will say um, I would be on the Broncos, Matt. I don't really understand the Chargers being a favorite in this game. Yeah, you can look at the Broncos and say some of the scores have been misleading. The final scores last weekend was one of them. They had two picks against Cleveland, but the Chargers, I mean, they're 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 not any good, Matt. I mean, the best thing going in this game is the Broncos defense. Like we know that they'll come to play. So I would lean towards the Broncos here plus 2.5, but not nothing strong here. I mean, three would obviously be better.
Yeah. Love this as a teaser leg uh,
Absolutely.
for the Broncos. Chargers have had a really strange last month with that win over the Falcons that Kirk Cousins essentially handed them, and then three losses that, the Kansas City loss, they played well, but it didn't really feel like they were close. And, certainly last week they got blown out. Yeah, I don't know. The Chargers might be the Commanders East, a team that overperformed at the beginning of the year, and in the playoffs, you're like, oh, okay, we can handle those guys. Um, by the way, any juice I'm curious here. Jane Daniels, I think, is like a minus 600 rookie of the year favorite at this point.
Yeah.
And there's this like hive of the internet that's like, Bo Nix, got to consider him. Where are you with that?
I mean, I have a Bo Nix ticket, Matt, that I got at plus I don't know 300. It was fairly recent, a couple weeks ago. I mean, if they win out, and that includes the Chiefs win week 18, and the Commanders struggle down the stretch, they have Philly this weekend. Certainly possible, but I think people do not equate the success of the Broncos to Bo Nix. They equate it to the defense and the coach, where they equate a lot of the success of the Commanders to Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, correctly, in my opinion. I think that's the correct reasoning. Um, Also, people forget that Denver won 8 games last year. Like they were a good team coming into this. But I am curious. It does feel like he's the only resistance. Like Bowers has maybe had the best year of all three of them, but I don't think they would give it to a tight end over two quarterbacks in the playoffs. But I was just interested in your take there. All right, let's move to the Saturday games. Sure seems like Patrick Mahomes is playing because the Chiefs are laying 3.5 to the Texans. This one was a real roller coaster. I wish I had bet this when it was the Texans opened as favorites in KC. So yeah, what do you think there?
Okay. So I said this on my VSiN radio show on one second here, on my VSiN radio show on Monday, that I thought it was odd to see him um, to see this number where it was at, because I thought Mahomes was going to play Matt. He's played every game but two in his career, and I immediately bet the Chiefs plus three, like sight unseen. Like this is ridiculous. If Wentz plays, this number is not going to move very much, maybe 4 or 5, but I still feel good with three. And then I took Texans plus 3.5 today. So I have a nice middle, Matt. I got a little middle action happening right here. Um, I had made this point. I wonder if you um, agree with me here. The Chiefs have two options. You battle through Saturday's game against Houston, battle through Pittsburgh, win both those games, and rest for a month, essentially. They have not had a bye since week 6. Everyone needs rest, not just Patrick Mahomes. Or you rest Mahomes, you play Carson Wentz, and I don't know, you maybe lose the 1 seed. And like, how does that do your team any good, Matt? Mahomes will be just fine. He'll fight through it. Now, I'm not laying with Kansas City in the game, minus 3.5, even though I would argue Tennessee is, Houston, not very good. Like I don't know, Matt. But Chiefs in this game, I would stay away from it. But so I have that middle happening right now.
Well done. Uh, I think, yeah, I agree. I think if Mahomes can play, you play Mahomes. Like it's not a difficult conversation to have with your team. I think this is a huge people kind of don't understand like where the Chiefs are in the seeding. Like Buffalo's got the tiebreak over them. They're 2 games back, and Buffalo plays New England's twice and the Jets in the next 3 weeks. So Kansas City is, even though they're up to 2 games, like if they were to drop this one, then all of a sudden they're looking at Pittsburgh, who is a brutal team to play ever. You know that they'll be favored, so you know that we're gonna like Kansas City will be favored, so you know we'll like Pittsburgh. And then they could lose out on that 1 seed, and then all of a sudden like that rest goes away, and then in round one, they could be playing a team in their division, which like they wouldn't want to see, or maybe they could be playing Baltimore. Like that's not a great outcome for them. So I think I think they win this game, and I actually don't hate them covering the 3.5 because I have so little faith in Houston.
Yeah.
Not one of our picks, but it's an interesting conversation. But if it's like if Mahomes says he's good enough to play, like you have to play him. It's the shortest thought process of all time.
Yeah, I don't really. People were arguing with me about this on Sunday and Monday, and I was like, I don't. What do you mean you don't play him? I don't understand. Like if he can walk, you play him. The people, and we've look. I don't know if there's been one podcast, and I know this is that millions of people are listening to this, um, that has talked less glowingly about a player than Carson Wentz in our time, Matthew. We had a no like Carson Wentz embargo for a long time.
We
I think
did.
like him and Matt Ryan. No offense to Matt Ryan, it's like embargo. We're not talking about you guys anymore. Cheese is like, oh, we can win a game with Carson Wentz. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Um, you know what just popped in my head? I was going to mention this earlier. This is a very side note. And when you mentioned holiday party earlier, we got sidetracked talking about other stuff. I think you know where I'm going with this, maybe. But the last time I had dinner with the entire Blue Duck group, uh, Trey
Yes.
Wingo gave a toast about something like, guys, it's a great year. We've made X amount of money. It was great. And I looked at you and just giggled to each other because the number he threw out there is a number for his podcast. I won't blow him up. I won't blow him up. Good number, good living if you can get it. But the that made, I'll never forget that memory of just like, guys, hell of a year, everyone. Good Blue Duck, you guys we're kicking ass. We made X amount of money. And I looked at you, Matt, and I was like, yep, X amount of money.
Yeah. Shout out to Trey. And once again, that is
Awesome.
pine-sports.com/subscribe.
I
Promo
can't
code
tell you, man.
Jeff.
What?
That is it. We have a sponsor. Let's go. We appreciate
Oh,
our sponsors.
of course we do. I'm just talking about the one
I
time that
know.
this
I'm
is like
saying we
three
can
years. It's
improve the
like
situation for
three
you, and
years
then
ago when
you
like
could
we
be
did
you could
this.
be
Yeah.
paying for the holiday party soon.
If you use my promo code, I certainly can. Yeah.
No, that was an all-time great work moment because you were like, what? This isn't a free internship?
It's not just three guys talking about sports twice a week.
Well, look, man, you can't find just anybody who can go 42% against the spread over 16 weeks. Like, come on. Like, we're offering pretty high,
Wait,
high product here.
what's Nick at right now?
Nick's he's doing well. I can pull it up quickly. I think he's paying the vig. He's like in the high 50s, I think.
We're at
Um
44%, buddy. Okay.
yeah, well, I think that was a guess. I think I was exactly right.
You
Uh
were right on the mark. I mean, we're not going to win until we get a cool graphic like he has for his show that outlines our wagers. So
dude, yeah.
until
It's
Hank
this guy
until Hank
spends a
does
lot of
that,
time on that.
until Hank does that.
I can't do that. Don't
I
worry.
love how you laughed so hard when I sent you a text saying like, "Hey, can I have this graphic for the show?" And you're like, no, that's not
Nick
Hank.
would never entrust us to do that. Like Nick hired a person who's good at that. Like that's not it.
Uh, all right.
We're very good
Well,
at other stuff. You guys should hire us to make all of your
oh,
great
Matt,
shows
yeah,
like
should
this
hire
one.
us to do everything except nice little gambling graphics. Oh, there's a picture of Mahomes throwing from practice today, so he's playing.
All right, Geoff. Well, good news. We've been on for 45 minutes and we've done two games. There's another Saturday game. We've got Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Baltimore, for some godforsaken reason, is laying 6.5 points to
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. I didn't even have to consider that we'd have a different opinion on this. Like we have to
No.
take Pittsburgh here.
So here is Pine dashboards. Ready? I put in the AI system, right? Tomlin record against the spread as underdog. I got six results back immediately. All right. He has the third best underdog record against the spread among active coaches. For his divisional opponents, when Mike Tomlin is listed as an underdog against divisional opponents, the Steelers are 26-9-2 against the spread. That includes 13-2-2 against the spread versus John Harbaugh. After a loss, his teams are 24-11 straight up. After a loss, they're 24-11 against the spread. And what's wild, Lamar Jackson 0-5 against the spread versus Pittsburgh. And so our boy Evan Abrams is getting put out of business here. But Pine Sports, man, this is the place. If you want to look this stuff up, no better place, Matt. So I think we don't blindly bet Pittsburgh, but I think we do here.
100%. It's obviously the right play. And then this is the time of the year where, like, I don't know, obviously, like, you don't have to do this, but like, I imagine that like I have a pretty good sense of what's going on out there, but like I like to listen to smarter people than me and take and think like, you know what, that person knows what they're talking about, whatever. I'm now at week 16. I'm using my eyeballs, right? I'm using what I'm seeing on the field every week. Baltimore is just not that good of a team. And Pittsburgh, the difference between Pittsburgh and Baltimore is not 7 points on any field, especially the second time. So this one just felt like just completely out of whack to me, even though like I know the Pickens and the Watt thing potentially both missing this game would be enormous. But it doesn't matter. These two teams play the same game every time they meet. So I love this one. I feel like this is a great spot to take Pittsburgh. Um, okay, so our weekly Steelers bet is on the board. Next up, the Sunday games start with another AFC North game. The Bengals laying 7.5 to Cleveland. My God, everyone still loves the Bengals. Is this going to be DTR? Is that who's starting this one?
Yeah, DTR starting. Yeah.
Yikes. Teaser leg, I would think, but I don't have a player, do you?
No, it's a teaser leg. That's about it. The Bengals defense is just so bad. It's really hard to say like, oh, you know what? I'm all in on them covering this number, right? The Browns. I need one more win, man. I got over 3.5 wins I got an alternate number. Geez, a month ago. That was bad. I mean, that was bad the other day. That was really bad. So, yeah. I think just hard pass this one.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, moving on to Rams at the Woody Johnson led Jets. Hard to find a buyer for the Jets right now. They are plus 3.5 at home. Uh, boy, are we doing it?
Aren't we a buyer of the Jets this weekend?
I think we are, dude. I hate it, but
I think we are too. I think we have to be. So, look, this sort of fits a system that we like to play a lot, like dome team going to play in 26-degree weather in MetLife Stadium. Like that's just the Rams. That's just the spot team struggling, man. They do all the time. We're gonna have another play later on, I think. In the same vein. So the Jets aren't bad. The Rams are good. We're getting to the point of like, if the Rams get hot, watch out. Like, stop it.
Yeah,
Stop.
it's a extreme sell high spot on the Rams too. Two really interesting conflicting trends on this. McVay and Stafford uh going west to east, which is like a very popular narrative. I've always been dialed into those. 7-0 straight up as favorites when they're flying west to east, which I find very interesting. McVay 14-2 against the spread in December. Unreal. But Stafford, 3-5-1 against the spread in freezing temperatures. So it's interesting to see how he'll do with that. He's played in dome or in LA his whole career. So I think in this one, look, who wants to bet on the Jets right now? Nobody. Like you don't read a report about the owner, suggesting they draft or trade players based on Madden ratings and go like, that's the team I want to put my money on. So the fact that Vegas is sort of like dangling that 3.5 out there, they obviously think this is a close game. The Jets, this is like even the hot team like the Rams, they don't win every week. So this is a really nice spot to sell them, I think. So
Wow,
glad we're aligned here, even though
McVay's
God,
McVay's record at ATS in December, according to Pine Sports, is 24-10-1. It's really good.
yeah, that's great. Um, yeah, so we'll
God,
we'll
this is
we'll
this
take our
I'm
chances, I guess.
just I might never use anything else. I just use this the whole time.
I know it's incredible.
Just type in whatever you need. It's
I
awesome.
know it's really good. Okay, my team, the Commanders, +3.5 facing Philly, winners of 10 straight. 80% of the money is on Philly. The Commanders are getting 3.5 at home. I feel like I could never talk myself into the Commanders here.
No,
What do you
so
think?
here's how you play this game. You live wager the Eagles when they're losing in the second quarter.
Yep.
That's what you do for this game. Eagles start slow, Commanders start fast. Eagles eventually play better in the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Commanders do not. I think it's that simple, Matt. 7-0, Commanders go 7-0. You bet the Eagles on the money line. Done.
Huh.
Like that's
I
how you,
like that
right?
play a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that's how you play this game. And if the Eagles score first, then you just sit at home and you watch the game. Like that's how it is.
Yeah.
And Eagles are playing good football. I think they win the NFC, by the way. They're also very healthy, which is surprisingly helpful at this
Yeah.
time of year. Also, weird number, not weird number, but this is via Evan Abrams. Jalen Hurts as a favorite is not profitable against the spread unless it's against a team over 500. Then he plays really well. They cover the spread a lot in those games. Another one of those teams, a good football team, and the Commanders. And that game last weekend, oh boy, that was close. That teaser leg that got ruined because of that. Not fun. Not fun, buddy.
Yeah, that was a really bad game to participate in
Yeah.
and root for your own team in. I was almost more pissed off that they won for some reason.
Well,
Uh
that's the way it works. Though, if you can't cover the spread, you might as well lose.
yeah, no, that's right. Um here's I just so I one more time for Pine Sports. I typed in Commanders Eagles bets and they suggested taking the over for Saquon Barkley's longest rushing attempts at 17.5 yards. They projected for 19.5.
Interesting.
Barkley has hit this line or above in 100% of his last 5 games, and the Commanders defense ranked 25th in rush yards allowed. That's like a really strong case that I typed in Commanders Eagles bets and it spit me out one of those. That's a -120. So I like that play. It's a nice play.
So what play I've been making, and it's not up yet because it's a backup running back. I've been taking Gainwell over his rushing prop a lot of weekends. The Eagles running back second string because it's so you can't put it in Pine Sports. It's not up yet. Typically they put these backup backs in later closer to game time. He gets like all the third down carries. So like third and 12, let's say third and 13. They put Gainwell in to run the ball for 8 yards. He also gets him at the end of games. Barkley gets beat up a little bit. He gets like it takes 3, 4, 5 carries to get there for him. It's typically 19 and a half, 18 and a half, 20, somewhere around there. So look at Gainwell as a possible play there. So all right, no play for us in this one. Next one here.
All right. Next one, home game in your backyard for the Panthers. They're getting 5 points now. Wow, to Arizona. Uh, no one wants to buy the Panthers after they burned everyone last week, including us. We're dumbasses, by the way. What are we doing? Um,
I
but
kind
I,
of I kind of like them again this
I
weekend.
know, God damn it. All right, make the case.
Well, I mean, the case is that last weekend was a prime example of a team reading its press clippings, right? First time a favorite in 33, 34 games. Had not been that spot before. They looked bad. They played good for a month. They looked really bad. Um, and I think they'll play better this weekend. The professional organization, like I think they'll kind of bounce back. Look, they need to win. Obviously, um, they don't need to win. I should say they're itching for a win, right? They've been close. Did you see Colin Murray this week? Was asked about the cold weather
Yeah.
and was like, oh, and it's not that cold here in Charlotte on Sunday, but it's not Arizona. So that kind of worries me when your quarterback is like, oh, know. For those who missed it, they basically asked Kyler Murray, "Are you ready to play in the cold, or do you like the cold?" And he said, "Like how cold?" He's like, "Oh, 35 degrees." He's like, "Ugh, ugh." So, um, I'm making the Eagles wager, by the way, the Saquon Barkley wager.
I think it's a really smart play. Um,
I just gotta find. I gotta find longest rush. Here it is, right here. 17 in done.
Love. Um, yeah, I feel like the Panthers money line is a nice play here. I think they're like almost, let's see. Yeah, they're almost plus 200. Um, yeah, I guess I could get behind this mostly just as a lack of faith in Arizona being able to travel well. They do have obviously a good run game. Um, I don't feel great about this one, but I'd be willing to consider it at least.
You said we get a +5 now.
Yeah, I see a plus 5 out there.
Okay, I'll put in the maybes. I mean, Pittsburgh and the Jets, I
Pretty
think, are in for
tempting.
both of us.
Yeah, that's two down. There's still a few I really like. Is this one of them? Probably not. The Tennessee Titans, who I refuse to bet on
Jeez.
ever again, are plus 3.5 at Indy.
No,
Unfortunately, the Titans are the play, and I regret to inform you, I do not have the stones for it.
no, we're not doing that. No chance. Zero chance. We just skip this one.
Okay, great. Mason Rudolph, does that tickle your fancy at all?
It
Mason
it
Rudolph?
it does not. No,
Yeah,
it
oh, okay.
doesn't.
Yeah, me neither. Great. All right, let's move on to Lions Bears. The Lions are 6.5 point
Oh,
road favorites in Chicago. Buddy, I'm so sorry. I think we have to do it.
really?
Yeah, I
What did you
think
say?
so.
6.5?
6.5. Yeah, I mean, was this on your radar at all or no?
Um, I think the Bears are just so broken that does not matter. The Lions can't play any defense.
Right. That's really it. Second time these two teams played, obviously, it's very clear in my memory, in case it's not as clear in the rest of yours. The Bears, this was the game that killed Matt Eberflus. This was the game where it was on Thanksgiving and the Bears were driving and they had a chance, and that was in Detroit when the Lions were much, much healthier. And that was just a month ago. So these teams have played, they played each other close. This is the second matchup. It's in Chicago. It's outside. So Jared Goff's going to have to deal with finally being outside in the cold weather. I think for the first time this year,
Yeah,
except that Green
first
Bay
time.
game.
Yeah,
84% of the money is on the Lions as a road favorite of almost a touchdown, where their defense is just cooked. And this happens some years
yeah.
where your team just falls apart as the season goes on and nobody really sees it coming. So I think for a couple weeks we're going to have an opportunity on the Lions, and the Bears, like, they'll show up for this. I think they were probably pretty pissed off after that last game. So if we can find a 7, that'd be incredible. But I'll take a look around and see if we can find one.
So there's
But I
no
think you got
sevens
to
right
take
now.
Chicago.
I feel like in most years this play wins, but this year it's not winning. Which I'm not sure we should deviate off. We're not taking the Lions, but that does worry me. But this is the play you always have to make, right? Outdoor team, so indoor team going outside, not badder weather, but worse weather than you used to. You're playing a team got embarrassed last week that feels dead man walking, like the time to jump in would be now, unless they're just dead, which is certainly possible. But Lions defense has like 25 players in injured reserve. They can't stop a soul. They've allowed 31 points and what's it, 48 points now in 2 straight weeks. So I would it'd be Bears or nothing. Put it like that.
And consider too, like, uh, let's see, the Bears won two out of them back on Pine Sports. The Bears won 2 out of 3 at Soldier Field against the Lions, which is meaningful because they actually have been good. Uh, the the Bears were 9.5 point underdogs in that Thanksgiving game. Lions have failed to cover in 3 straight. Uh, I just think, I don't know, man. Like, also, like, this is just defensively, like, the Bears D is good without David Montgomery. Like, they kind of the what the Lions can do on offense, especially outdoors, is going to be really limited, I think. So I don't mind this one.
Montgomery, yeah.
Yeah, so I think this is a good value. It's just tough to bet on such a weird team. But this was one of my favorites coming into the week.
Well, it's put in the. I mean, I put it in a yes. It's also in the maybes in two categories right now. But I think we're
We're
probably
really
in on it.
straddling it.
I think we have to. I think it has to be in. All right. What do we got next?
All right, next we have the debut of Michael Penix facing your former team, the Giants. I see an 8 and 8.5 out there. Man, do we have the confidence to lay it with Michael Penix? I don't think so, right?
No, I don't. I think this is just a stay away. The Giants are just utterly atrocious, though. Holy heck, Matt, they're bad. I no, we can't bet on a quarterback in his first game though, and the Giants are just not worth wagering on.
Yeah, this got up to 10, which is crazy. I don't know who's out there buying the Giants.
This
Um,
will be the least bet game of the entire weekend.
yeah, that's probably right. It's also gonna just like kill people in fantasy football one way or the other, with all these Falcons. So that's a pass for us. I'm rooting for the guy. Always, I liked him coming out in the draft. Okay, Minnesota at Seattle's our next one. This is now into the late window on Sunday.
Yes,
Vikings are 3-point road favorites because everyone's down on Seattle because they
yes,
killed everyone last week. You're saying yes as if you were emphatic about a play we're going to make here.
yeah. Seattle. Um, two two reasons. Well, three. One is well, Seattle made us look bad the other day, Matt.
Sure did.
They
My guy
got
Sam
embarrassed.
Howell struck again.
They got embarrassed. I think Gino's playing this game. I think that line is three would tell you he's playing. If it doesn't play, it goes to 6 or 7. Um, they were embarrassed, and they're a professional sports team that is a possible playoff team. They're going to play better this weekend at home. Like that's just the law of averages, right, Matt? I assume Gino's going to play in this game. We have a Minnesota team that is a dome team playing outside in the rain. Do not like that for Minnesota, right? We all the time we see this. It's going to rain this weekend in Seattle. No surprise. It's mid-December in Pacific Northwest. And lastly, um, the Vikings have pressure, which they really haven't had all season. And the pressure is win out, you're the one seed. You heard that right, guys. If they win out,
Isn't that
they're the
crazy?
one seed. Okay. Because they win the tiebreaker against Philly based off of strength of schedule, and then they would beat the Lions in week 18. So how's Sam Darnold going to play with the pressure of this now? There hasn't been pressure all season like this. And we haven't seen that in his career. He hasn't had to play in this situation in his career. So I like Seattle here +3, Matt. No doubt about it. We have all these underdogs this week. It's so scary the way the season's gone.
Yeah,
Oh,
favorites
geez.
covered. I think all of the games but one last week, and I think that might have been my stupid
I
team.
I do have one favorite I like at some point. You're gonna hate
Yeah.
it.
No, we'll see. Darnold on short rest,
I
two
hope it's the
six and
same one we
one
like.
in his career.
How?
I'm not
What'd
sure
you
if
say?
Darnold is 2-6-1 on short rest in his career. They're
Okay.
coming off a Monday night game where they're traveling. Interesting one. We'll find something out about these teams. Uh, we'll see what that is. I don't mind Seattle though. I think that's a solid play. Is this the one, Jeff? Is it the 14-point favorite Buffalo Bills hosting Drake May and the Patriots? Is that the one?
Yes, that
Oh
is the
my
one.
God. Okay. Okay. Make
You,
the
you,
case.
well, the case
I'm
is the
open to
same.
this.
They beat the shit out of all the bad teams they play at home.
Right.
They do it all the time. We bet this earlier this season against Tennessee. Um, and New England is dead. Like were off a bye, Matt, and looked terrible last weekend. And everyone's like, fire the coach. I made this joke. I'm gonna run it by you again. I'm gonna workshop it again. And when I wrote about this game for Fox Sports, I said, you can count on one hand if that hand was missing 3 digits of impactful players the Patriots have on their team, right? It's Drake May and Christian Gonzalez. That's it.
Yep.
No one else. Two. And I get it. Bills defense allowed 90 points the last 2 weeks. I think the Bills love getting a little excessive. Like Josh Allen's going to win MVP. I get that. But guys, they've allowed 90 points the last 2 weeks. You realize that, right? 44. Actually, I think my math's a little wrong. I think it's 80 points. But it doesn't, it's a lot of points. You could argue that 82 points. You could argue that, I told you before, I have an old school calculator on my desk, like an old school, like,
Oh wow. Look at that thing. Is that a
yeah,
Casio or something? What do we
it's the
got? What's the
cheapest.
make?
It didn't even have a battery in it. It just runs off of like the digital, like, hopefully there's sun in my office.
That's amazing.
I actually think it works off the light I have on. Like I have these lights up here, and so yeah, so it didn't have a battery in it. It's a KK 83712X 12S. I don't know. It was $10 on Amazon probably 5 years ago.
Damn, you got
I
that
love it, dude.
AKT 12S. Damn, flex.
Just an old school 12-digit calculator on my desk. Do quick math because I'm a dummy. All right. I uh I think Buffalo wins and covers this game by a lot.
Well, it's a clash of styles. Buffalo, they like to get out to big, fast leads and not look back. And the Patriots, 3-27 straight up, 4-25-1 against the spread when trailing by 7 or more at any point. That's the worst in the league. So a tough, a tough time a tough team to face. Jackson, our friends at Pine Sports, they say that Josh Allen has covered 50% of the time when he's favored by 14 or more. So it's not like a super tough ask for him. So I'm cool with this one. Obviously, I like it a lot in a tease. These two teams play each other again, as I think I mentioned, in 2 weeks. One thing I wanted to ask, Geoff, is this the week to so Josh Allen is minus 900 to win the MVP. Like they're basically saying like it's done. If Lamar Jackson were to win if he were to win out, are we sure that Lamar wouldn't win it over Allen? Like if they were to go, to what I think that would get them to 12-5, the Ravens, like wouldn't you think that he would have just as much of a right to it as Allen would?
I think there's going to be Lamar Jackson voter fatigue from I mean, 3 MVPs already with zero Super Bowl appearances, whether that's fair or not, that's going to be the knock on him. Is
Yeah,
that he's won all these MVPs. I mean, 3 MVPs would put him in like rarefied air, right?
big time. Yeah, I don't know. It's still just like it's like something weird could happen.
I mean,
Uh,
just off the top of my head, 3 MVPs would put him
it's like
with like
Manning,
Brady and Rogers, right? And like that, like those are the I I mean, I'm looking right now. So Brady won okay, Brady won 3, Rogers has 4, Manning has 4.
5. Manning is 5, I think.
I see
Yeah,
4. But yeah, it doesn't oh 5,
more
you're
than
right,
Mahomes.
5. You're right,
Yeah.
5. He's got 5, yeah. Yeah,
So yeah,
5.
interesting. It would put him in very rarefied air. Like it would be him and tying Jim
Oh,
Brown.
Favre looks like he has 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. Well, okay, fair enough.
Well, and then Johnny Unitas and Jim Brown. Um, yeah.
Shout out those guys.
How about Lou
Uh,
Groza, 1954 as a Sporting News MVP there?
Grows a hive. Let's fly.
Let's go.
All right, a couple more games left here. I like this one, unfortunately. The 49ers going to Miami.
Oh, jeez.
This is basically you can find a favorite on either side here. How do you not take the 49ers in this? Like, I just feel like this is so screamingly obvious. The Dolphins stink. They haven't been able to do anything in months. They beat the Rams, and everyone's like, "Oh, they must be good." But the Dolphins suck, man. Like, I think that this is a slam dunk for the
I
Niners.
oh geez, I have nothing for this game, buddy. I just think that both teams aren't very good right now. And the Niners, what are they going to be this weekend? Who's playing? Who's not playing? I see the running backs out. Trent Williams, is he playing or not playing? Um, a Dolphins fate is certainly doable. I actually had like Tyreek Hill over 6.5 receptions when a wide receiver. We talked about this last with AJ Brown. When wide receivers angry on the internet, they typically get the ball the next weekend, Matt. Um, Wow, Niners, huh? I have nothing in this game. I'd rather have nothing in this game. If you like the Niners a lot, we'll certainly consider it.
I just want to go through who the Dolphins have beat this season
Oh,
really
it's the
quick.
same thing as always, right? But the thing about it is like the Niners aren't that good this year though. Like they're not that team that we always bet against the Dolphins with.
Yeah, but the Dolphins, like the Dolphins lost to the Titans. They lost their wins this year. Patriots, the Rams, the Raiders, the Patriots again, the Jets in overtime. Like that's who they've beaten this year. They stink, man. And they beat the Jaguars in week 1.
Oh,
Congratulations.
they got a huge problem in their hand with Tua. They design plays like they're terrified of him getting hurt, and that's not a place you want to be.
Yeah.
Not great.
All right, we can pass on it, but if we need a fifth, I'll
I put
nominate
in
the
the. I mean,
Niners.
it's down. I
Yeah.
was surprised you went there. Interesting. I didn't expect that.
All right. Well, there's not a lot left to pick from here. The last 4 o'clock game is the Jags and the Raiders in a barn burner.
Yeah,
The Raiders
we've
are
heard
favored.
how much time we wasted on doing other things in this show. We should
Yeah,
probably skip
I'd
this
rather
one.
talk about my holiday party. Pass. Bucks at Cowboys. Bucks laying 4 to Dallas. Dallas is a little frisky, man. I just don't know if I have the
No.
stones to
Um,
grab the 4.
Take Mike Evans over. They're trying to get him 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
So I got this tweet from someone, Matt, that said it gave a list of like all the guys that are up for bonuses if they hit certain incentives. And I got in this argument with the people that I was in text thread with, and I like them. I do radio with them, but they never play in the NFL, and their thought was like, well, like these teams try to get these guys these bonuses. Like they do not. No one ever does that. Like this is just it's just a way to waste money on props. But one of them that was included was Mike Evans, and the Bucks have said, not have said, but it's very clear they're trying to get him his 1,000 yards this season because that's I think 11 years in a row, and it ties or passes Jerry Rice. And so I think any Mike Evans numbers, I'm gonna put into Pine Sports the Mike Evans projections for this weekend. Um, I think that Mike Evans would anything of his overs would be a way to go here.
Yeah. Trayvon Diggs should be out as well. I don't know. I think Mike McCarthy has saved his job, Jeff. I think that the Cowboys are playing really hard. That's a team that we all could have said goodbye to. They've they've had some impressive wins. This one would be very impressive if they were to do it. But I'm not going to make an impassioned case for it. And lastly, maybe if you've got the Mike Evans thing, we can do it. But if you want
Go
to
ahead.
buy
No,
a
no,
couple more
go ahead.
seconds,
I'm looking it up right now.
sounds good. The Monday night game, Saints Packers. The Packers are 14 and a half point favorites.
That's painful. Yeah, just no.
Yeah, it's just out of reach, I think. The Saints are, I don't know, they're playing inspired, but uh Packers should be able to take care of business, but I don't love them by more
So they
than two
have
touchdowns.
Mike Evans. Pine Sports has him slightly under his projection this weekend. And then it has him over longest reception, barely. No, it does that by 3 yards. So, but yeah, over receiving, not doesn't like it. Doesn't like. We got to check. We got to now. I'm gonna have to put on my spreadsheet like understanding like like where the if Pine Sports wins me these wages or not.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to test this tool out because I can't
This thing's
stop looking
awesome.
at it. I'm reading it as you're talking to me about it.
Oh yeah.
That's how much we are believing in this thing. All right, Jeff, I think we do have our list to go through. But if you want a little more time, I can pitch you something.
Let me hear you pitch me something.
So at the beginning of this, lately we've been doing these monster teasers, right? At the
Yeah,
at
sign
the
me up.
beginning of at
Let
the
me do
beginning
another
of the
one.
show, I put in give me a 6 legs 6 point teaser,
Yes.
and it did. And I actually really like what they
Okay,
offer
what is
here.
it?
So it starts tonight. The Broncos, let's kick them up to plus 8.5 at the
Okay.
Chargers. I love that one. The Seahawks plus 9 at the Vikings. Love that one.
Well, the Seahawks are home.
Yeah, so plus
Yeah,
9 at
yeah,
home against the
yeah,
Vikings. Yep. They said to take the Bengals down to 1.5 against the Browns, which we liked.
yeah.
They kicked the Panthers up to 10.5 against Arizona, which we liked. And then two kind of risky sides, but I'm buying them. The Falcons to 2.5 against the Giants, which is just
Ooh.
risky because of Penix. And then the Jags plus 7.5 at the Raiders. I think I might have to take that one out, but I do really like four of those
Do,
legs.
do you
Uh,
want to throw do you do the Chiefs thing again?
oh, and tease them through the zero. Yeah, we can do
Yeah,
that. Yeah, the Chiefs are going to win. So we can take them down to two plus 2.5,
yeah.
which is where you got them originally. And
That number's about to go to back down to three maybe. But yes, okay. And then so do
and
you
we could
want to
we could kick the
do
Bears up to 12.5 too. We could do that. Or the
uh,
Bills down to 8.
what about Niners getting seven now?
Oh, that I like. Let's do that. Let's do that. That's really
Okay.
good.
Okay. So teaser here. By the way, a parlay, if we just put those six just sides in by themselves, 50 to 1.
Wow. Damn. Maybe we should do it.
I wonder if it's gonna let me. I think it's gonna let me wager on this. I mean, no, I'm not doing that. That's a waste of money. We're not doing that. I'll just tease it. 6 point teaser plus 550. All right, done.
We did it, bud.
If any sharp people are listening, they're like, "How dare you do that?" Um, let's. So I think we have our five. By the way, it's not much discussion. I don't think we pretty much. Pittsburgh plus 6.5, Jets plus
Yep.
3.5, Chicago plus 6.5, Seattle plus 3, Buffalo minus 14.
Pretty good. Pretty good list.
The other option was the Panthers somewhere.
I mean, Panthers and and Buffalo are for discussion, but I feel fine with Buffalo. I have
Yeah,
no
so
faith
do
in
I.
New England at all.
Um, who had the most fun last night at the holiday party?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think the fun was pretty evenly distributed. There was a moment I will say where Hank, who helped us out with Pine Sports, helps produce the show, um, he asked Gabe for playing cards, and I looked back, and all of a sudden everyone was playing Kings. Do you remember that game in college? That's the
No.
one where you put the cards under the beer tab, and when it opens, that person has to chug the whole beer.
Okay.
And I looked around and I was like, we've I don't know, probably a dozen or so folks that are full time here, and then like some freelancers. And I like looked around, and like there's everyone playing the game, and then there's our HR freelance person at the end, a mom of three who's awesome, Heather. And she gets the thing, and it's the tab where the beer has to open, and so she has to like gas this beer. And I was like, well, this is the best company ever.
Like Office Christmas Party at the when you seen that movie?
No.
When the HR lady is it's Kate McMinnon, is that her name from
McKinnon,
SNL?
yeah, yeah.
And she's the HR lady who's like overly HR aggressive and ends up like being fun by the very end of it. So that's fantastic. Um, what's like the median age of the employees? I feel like it's a younger crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the oldest, and I'm 36. There's
Yeah.
probably like three or four people over 30 here. So it's a fun crowd, man. It's a good group. It's a nice group. It was nice to get a good hang. So thanks for putting up with us, Jeff. I know we're not always perfect, but we sure like doing the show with you.
What are you doing for Christmas?
I'll be in Santa Monica. Come swing by if you're in town.
I will be in Utah.
That's close. It's
I
closer than
am
usual.
I am I'm there's no legal sports wagering in Utah. And I've gotten so accustomed to using my apps in Charlotte that it's gonna be a problem this weekend. It's gonna be a problem, Matthew.
Hey,
Um,
man, a couple days, couple clean days never hurt anybody.
no, it hurt me because the one thing that a friend of mine who I do radio with on Fox Sports Radio, if you want to check it out, Bill Krackenberger is fantastic. He's a professional sports handicapper. He makes a lot of money in NFL props. Like it's a lot. And so um, I got to find a way to get someone to log into my account and put these wagers in for me. But delicately,
Man,
you have to do them like slowly because otherwise I don't want to get limited either. So
mm,
um, yeah, yeah.
interesting.
To find someone in back east to trust to do it for me. All right. Well, pine-sports.com/subscribe, promo code Jeff. It's fantastic. Get 50% off. And then next year, because all you guys use the promo code, when I do the holiday party toast, I'm going to talk about how much money we've made via Pine Sports and other things that are in the works at the moment. Matt, you're welcome to leave the studio you're in right now to go to a bigger space that is more um,
It's
uh,
the supply closet. It's the only room available. They're redoing the studio that you've done some shows in here. So if you heard the occasional drill, that was why they were demolishing our beautiful baby boy over there. So
really?
next time you come,
You're up
yeah,
doing the studio?
yeah, man, we're doing it. We're next time you're here,
I feel like it's you guys are near the time to get a new bigger space. I think you're getting close to that.
dude. If we ever left here, there's a lot of wires, man. There's a lot of stuff we need to fix. So yeah. There's a lot of wires. Jeff, enjoy Utah, man.
Yes,
Thanks for
thank
doing
you.
this.
We're back on
Great to
Friday,
see you as
everybody.
always.
Oh, quickly, Riley Leonard over rushing yards. I like Notre Dame to cover, and I like Penn State to beat SMU and cover. So,
Ooh,
college football playoff, quick wagers there. Also, remember, guys, January 5th, Maryland, Oregon playing basketball. So, big day for us coming down the stretch. I saw you were wearing your Maryland
go
shirt.
Terps.
Go Terps. All right, guys, have a good weekend. Talk to you guys next week. Take care, everybody.
See you, buddy.